Good evening, everyone. This is DDoS. I hope everyone's doing well this evening. I just want to jump on here and clarify that a lot of people were listening. I think they were just sort of listening and saw that it was live and it was, in the form of a live stream, but that was actually from the year 2015, a few days after my birthday in 2015. I was living in Gainesville, Texas, and received like these weird calls. Um, and I was still in the infancy of going out there in the field and not only encountering the creatures, but getting my bearings and how to actually. There is no proper way to research. I don't think that's the right way to put it. But go out there and do it the traditional way, which there's people who've been trying to research these cryptids in the quote unquote traditional way and spent countless amounts of money and have never seen anything. The worst story I've ever heard, or not the worst, the saddest, was a gentleman was he was in the field for I think 30 some odd years, left his family. He ended up living in an RV and doing it full time until the day he died, and he never saw one. And these things are definitely not worth that, folks. But I want to clarify that. And I spoke out about a gentleman named Alamo. That's his pseudonym. And about how, this lost time incident that we shared, and how people were telling me that he's charging folks to go down into Brown Springs, my main research area, where I took him as a field partner in my investigations. I didn't want to disparage this man at all. If it came across that way, I sincerely apologize. And I was pointing out the fact that I never felt comfortable doing it, but if he does, um, that's his prerogative. When I had the old channel, and even this one, PayPal link, so I use that to actually get field equipment and all that kind of stuff with little field equipment I took out there and gas and everything else you need to go out into the field. So if people are comfortable giving him money to go out there, I mean, I'm not besmirching the man. It just, that's not my gig. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he didn't take it that way. I'm not looking to beat anybody down there or flip their spirit upside down, even those who have wronged me. Speaking of which, there's this, most of you know, some of you probably don't. There's a channel out there that's meant to do literally just that, to drag me back into my past sins and offenses, both real and literally imagined and made up. They conflate them together to make sure that I look like the Leviathan, the dragon, the serpent. And part of me, the old man, wants to just completely use your imagination when but I forgive him. It'd be nice if it would stop, because there's a gentleman who was my roommate who, opened up my home to. He's moved on now with certain individuals that were very, very close to me. And I'm not upset at that. God bless y'all. But I don't think it's cool to come to this channel and get in the chat to harass people just because they say something nice to me, and contact them to put attach disparaging things and disparaging remarks to me. Um, we're almost 2 years removed from all that. So I've forgiven you. And if you're hanging on to some offense for that long, I'd ask you to forgive me and move on, because that can't be good for you. That negativity you're holding on to, for the fact that you would come and try to attack me when literally I've done nothing wrong, nothing that so again, let's move forward, and let's move forward in a positive way. Just like before, stay on my boat. Wave at you when I see you passing. And I think about this, like, and I think Dark Waters and the vault from the Vault of Nightmares. They both stood up and jumped in the gap for me and kept me from jumping off board. Because I mean, this is YouTube stuff. This isn't like, it is what it is. If it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. And it became not so fun when you have a group of people literally disparaging your name, attacking you. putting your child's name out there in the public, posting not only private information, but manipulated information. Yeah, it took a lot, but here we are. So again, I mean, I don't think about y'all when I'm on the lawn or walking my dog, when my mind is wandering. So just move forward, and God bless y'all. Move forward in a positive manner. I wish nothing but the best for all parties involved. I forgive each and every last one of y'all for anything bad that y'all said about me or anything bad that you've done to me. And we know there's been bad things done to me. I forgive you. Anyways, you can't hang on to that stuff. You know what I mean? That's where the people that die feeding pigeons in the park, die or just kill over from heart attacks from all that stress. And there was a literal campaign launched. Get your boy completely out of the public eye. You wouldn't hear my voice. And the sad thing is, everything I've seen, they couldn't disparage what I've done in the field because they couldn't make money off of it moving forward. They couldn't get any kind of notoriety if they did that because Brown Springs is one of the hottest hotspots. Brown Springs, the research area, not Brown Springs, the road or the cemetery. But again, just Alamo, God bless you. I'll forgive you. Uh, and I told you that a day before I went on my field trip. You, I mean, it just, again, and Richard Cox, you said it. That I'm not going to do. Um, First part, yes, though. It's just I see all this strife. You know what I mean? And people taking on others' offenses. And I'll sit back and I try to put myself in that position. I've been that person before. That anger will eat you alive. It's like one of those blowflies or bot flies that get up under the skin. You don't know they're there until it's already sprouting out of you, looking like a hulked up worm. But like Jimmy Blanton said, you know, I've been enlisted. I've been enlisted in a battle or in a war with many battles, day in and day out. And it's been going on since the carpenter took his last breath on that cross. And it will go on until his return. But I did want to clarify that though I am upset about certain aspects, private aspects of Alamo and my relationship, I haven't given him a wide berth or an opportunity, directly or indirectly, to make that right. And how can we expect to be forgiven if we do not first learn to forgive? But Jerry, that ain't cool, bro. Don't. I mean, I'd appreciate it. You can hate me all you want and hold on to any kind of adversity or whatever you want to. But that's not really cool, man. Like that's straight up harassment and bullying, and I'm not going to tolerate that. I'll forgive you for it, but it'd be nice if it wouldn't happen anymore. The person who you actually try to reach out and contact in person to talk to talk all that trash to, like in the public, she said, "Hey, this guy tried to do this, but whether it's true or not, I'm not your judge." So I'm not hard to find if you want to have a conversation, and if not, like let's not harass one another. That's not cool. That's not where it's at. That's not what's in vogue in 2022, going into 2023. My mind is the exact same. That's why I posted that from 2015. What's crazy is like nobody who's listened to it, who the people were saying happy birthday, they thought it was literally current. So from 2015 to 2023, I've been consistent. But I wanted you guys to hear that because that was after this poltergeist experience that I had and hit my knees, crying out to a gracious Lord. And I received the Holy Ghost before that. I've been in rebellion. Don't get me wrong. I've made every mistake a middle-aged man can make. But 2015, what is that? 8, So right at 30 years old, man, I'm getting old. But 29, 30, somewhere around in there. John the Baptist said, I baptize you in water, but there's one who comes after me whose sandals I am not fit to tie, who'll baptize you in the Spirit of God and fire. I don't believe I received that baptism in fire until that moment. But that's when things begin to change. That spirit of anger still stalked me. But yeah, I publicly, and if I'm contacted privately, I'll tell you I have no strife. I have no ill will against anybody. I wish good things on people. I want to see you all prosperous and come to the knowledge of the Lord. And I appreciate the fact that there's people who listen who don't share my faith. But I've ran into very few that have been disrespectful, and I appreciate that. But yes, that last show wasn't current. It was in 2015. Appalachian Tales of Terror. Jimmy Blanton, another great guy. So I appreciate. And I always do this. It's back in the day. I will continue it. Diesel 2K, Scott J, Rata 5892, Jimmy Blanton, of course, Kendall Stevens, who I emailed you today, or I'm sorry, I put my email in the chat for you. You said you wanted to reach out and contact me, and I try to make myself available for everyone. Thanos Snap, man, I ain't seen you in a while, and yeah. So I'm gonna make this a short one. Just wanted to come on here and hopefully interject some positivity because there's no reason not to. With so much negativity and strife and madness taking place, but you ain't got to worry about it. What brought me to the dance, you'll be seeing very, very soon. I started off as a field researcher, and I don't plan on doing this for no 30 years. So, how I started is how I'll finish, showing you those monsters. And I owe a lot of you an apology on that. There's a spiritual aspect in the physical, but there's also, I've always said there's something else going on with them. I was reading a little bit of scripture today, and I was listening to this brother. I forget the name of him. Most of you probably subscribe to this channel. It's like one of those Christian supernatural channels looking at things through a biblical perspective. And he put something in perspective for me. Nephilim comes from the Hebrew word, which means to fall, or it gets equated to, the giants, which these creatures were giants, but it also means earthborn. So, of course, that being the offspring of these fallen angels or the angels that left their first estate. But if we're going off of that, the book of Enoch, which gives us really detailed information about their fall or them leaving their first estate, they not only sought after and took men's wives, when they took wives of them all that they pleased, they literally were kidnapping men's wives. Not all. There's in Jewish folklore, they say that it was the women who actually enticed these angels to leave their first estate, pitch and woo, trying to get them to come after them. And God's punishment for those women was to turn them into what we know now as the harpies, the creatures with the women's head and like the bird bodies, and they would feast on the flesh of men. That's Greek mythology. So you got this little band of people, this little group of people who they tried to claim there never was in Israel. They were just a roving band in the desert that died off years ago, and then people took on that mantle. Um, what's up, shape shifting a hole? But you have that aspect of it. Long story short, they did more, according to the book of Enoch, than just have children with women. They corrupted. And if you go back and do your, due diligence on the word corrupt, look at the Strong's Concordance and see what all meanings can come from that word. They not only had offspring with women, but they had offspring with all sorts of animals, fish. It even said somehow they corrupted the grass of the field. Now, don't even ask me how you can do that. But They did it, and they did, and of course, the Book of Enoch is in the Ethiopian biblical text, which I believe one of y'all may correct me on it, but I believe that's the oldest known collection of the entirety of Scripture, and they included in there, I think maybe the Lutherans or some aspects of the Catholic Church may include the Book of Enoch and their Bible. I believe the reason it was taken out of the King James is because it has nothing to do with the salvation of man. Man's relationship with God, it cannot add to nor subtract from that relationship. So that, and it has more supernatural stuff in it than probably all of the Old Testament. I know I'm wrong on that, but it's pretty doggone close. Like even that first book of Enoch, which the first book, it reads like it could fit right to Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Enoch. You could place it right there and it would fit perfectly, in my opinion. The other two books, meh. So you see why they're chained in, they're chained in darkness in Tartarus, hell's basement. You see what pissed God off so much. They came down and literally perverted his creation. He didn't even lock Lucifer, who became Satan after he didn't even lock Satan in chains of darkness. He just got chunked out of heaven. He was like, nah, y'all go get them and you put them in the basement. So these and they go into the names of the angels and Mount Hermon, where in Hermon, I believe the rough translation is to a pact or a treaty, or they all came into agreement on the top of Mount Hermon because they knew they were doing some messed up stuff. But and to stand in the presence of God and to come up with the plan where I believe it was 200 of them were going to go and they were going to come to Earth. They were the little G gods, but they came to Earth and started doing all this stuff with women and grass and ox and wolves and all the rest of it. They have to stop before that and have them a little team meeting. Could you imagine being the fly on the wall there? Like, all right, what are we going to do? Yeah, y'all can't go back because y'all know Daddy's going to smoke our game for real. So if I do it, you're going to do it. That does sound like some brothers, right? Like growing up, how many of you had a conversation, had that little powwow before you did something stupid with one of your siblings? Like, hey, I'm gonna tell on you if you don't do it with me. I'll go tell right now. So, anyways, Enoch is canon in my world. I don't care who took it out. All right, brother. It doesn't matter what I think, bro. Like, I believe that council that King James and his wisdom put together, as was ordained by God, is the Holy Scriptures. Now, the Book of Enoch is an extra biblical text you could take into consideration, and I believe it may expand upon a lot of stuff in the Old Testament, but I'm not going to take it into my heart as being canon. I believe if that's what he wanted for us in this time right now where we are, then that's what it would be. So, and like I said, this is going to be a quick one. I just want to jump on here and say that God bless you, Alamo, Tex, and all the rest out west. Yeah, I literally, even with what was posted to get my attention and what was done to one of the subscribers, I forgive you. I don't care. I love you. I invited you into my home. It'd be nice if it wouldn't happen anymore, but I have no control over you. So, and if y'all want to hear a show like that, I've been putting something together for a long time. I've not been putting too much, honestly, not too much thought and effort into it. It's something I've studied. It's angelology, but I don't believe that that's something that is critical for anybody's anything. It's just something cool to kind of look into. God bless you all. Thank you for taking time to listen, and I'll see you on the next show.